Hi, paper thinkers! Have you ever wondered how else you could use your Supernote? In this video, I'll share 3 unexpected ways I've used my Supernote that don't involve taking notes and may just inspire you with new ways to use your device. Let's get into it. In a quest to balance my tendency to try to always be productive, which can ultimately lead to burnout, I'm trying to incorporate periods of rest in my life. Since I'm not great at taking breaks where I do nothing, I've recently picked up a new hobby that engages my hands and my mind and gives me a mental break. And that hobby is cross-stitching. And it turns out Supernote is great for this new hobby. After downloading the pattern, I realized that the Supernote would be the perfect place to keep it. The PDF format is supported, and not having to print it means less paper clutter. Plus, I always know where the pattern is when I sit down to stitch. I used to primarily transfer files via this USB drive, which has both a USB-C connector and a USB-A connector. And I still do sometimes, but lately I have really enjoyed using the Browse and Access feature. I turn on the Wi-Fi, and then the Browse and Access, and then I enter the URL in my browser, select where I want to transfer the file, and click Upload. The transfer is really quick. Then I close the connection by turning off the Wi-Fi to save battery and because it's not a secure URL. The process is super convenient. The pattern is easy to read on the Supernote because each thread color is represented by a symbol, and I can easily zoom in or out to take a closer look at a section, or move the box in the window around to see another part of the pattern. Is there a craft or hobby you do that would be perfect for the Supernote? Drop a comment below and let's swap ideas. I've always admired people who can draw because so much can be communicated in a drawing. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'd love to get better at it, but as a beginner, a blank sheet of paper can feel intimidating. I recently discovered a way to ease into drawing that takes away that pressure and focuses on the fun of drawing. While looking for an image that could be my new Supernote screensaver, I came across this illustration. I love the simplicity of it and decided to not only make it my screensaver, but also to try and recreate it to understand how it came together from a single line. I did this by creating a new note and selecting Standard for the note type. I'll explain why in a moment, and tapping Create. Now I can set the illustration as a template. Using a gray pen to trace the drawing makes it easier to see the drawing progress, though you could also use a black pen if you prefer. Tracing the drawing gives me a chance to familiarize myself with the drawing process and how the shapes and proportions come together to form the elephants from a single line. And I can easily see how my drawing turns out by hiding the template. The best part is that I can practice drawing it as many times as I want. If I want to save my practice drawings, I can go to Layers, turn off the layers with drawings, and add another layer to draw it all over again. Or I can go to the layers where there are drawings and I can erase them. And I can draw it all over again, as many times as I want, and without wasting any sheets of paper. Supernote does have an app dedicated to drawing called Atelier that has a variety of pencils and pens. But from what I can tell, there isn't a way to import an image and use it as a drawing guide the way that you can in a note. I'll include a link to the image I used in the description below, and I'd love to know, what would you draw if you gave this a try? A portrait? A landscape? Something abstract? Share in the comments. I hadn't thought about creating my own handwriting font with Supernote. The last time I made a font, I did it with pen, paper, and a scanner years ago, but it turns out it's a great tool for drawing the font essentials, the letters, numbers, and punctuation, before uploading them to a font creation software like Calligraphr. I used the free version of their software, which limits you to 75 characters, which is more than enough for the alphabet, numbers, and commonly used punctuation. The software generates a template you fill out once you've selected the characters you want to include in your font. I'm going to choose minimal English, minimal numbers, and minimal punctuation. This brings the character count to 79 characters. Since only 75 are included in the free version, I'm going to remove the ampersand because the plus sign can double for that. And I'll also remove the semicolon, equal sign, and @ symbol. Now, the template can be downloaded. Both PDF and PNG formats work for the Supernote. I'll keep the default for the template cell sizes and include helplines and characters in the background to guide placement of the characters as I draw them on the Supernote. To ensure the cleanest template is uploaded to Calligraphr, I reduced the contrast so the guiding lines and letters are no longer visible. Then export the PDF and transfer the file to your computer. If you're using Browse and Access, click on the Export folder and then click on the file to download it to your computer. The software will then turn your handwriting into a font. Just select your file, keep this checked, and click Upload. This is where using Supernote to create the font comes in handy. Some of the letters didn't look as natural together as I wanted them to look. I found that writing the letter as part of a word helps, and that I could then grab the letter and move it into its box. There are also some aspects of the font that you can adjust through the software. From how much spacing there is between letters, to the size of the font, to the spacing between words. And you can even name your font. Having my own font has been so much fun. It can be used in all sorts of things, from personalizing a Supernote screensaver, to writing letters to family and friends, to using it in this video, and anything else you can think of. I'm thinking of creating my own version of Wingdings next, a font where typing letters or numbers pulls up fun symbols. What kind of font would you create? Something playful, elegant, or quirky? I'd love to hear in the comments. When I first got my Supernote, I never imagined I'd use it for cross-stitching, drawing, or making my very own font. I love how versatile it is, and I can't wait to discover more ways it can be used beyond note-taking. What's one way you've used your Supernote that surprises you or might surprise others? Share in the comments, and let's inspire each other. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and tap the bell. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.